Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing marvelously well. So we're here in lovely Los Angeles on a lovely evening, and I'm going to introduce you now to my very, very good friend, Mr. Chad Fischer, who is a film composer, a TV composer. He has a band called Laszlo Bane, who you might know from the Scrubs theme tune and many, many other things. He's a very old friend of mine. He played drums on my first record in Los Angeles about 4.5 million years ago. Incredibly talented guy. I hope you're well, Mr. Chad Fischer. Are you doing marvelously well?
Hey, Warren. I'm doing marvelously well. Thanks. Hello, I'm Chad Fischer, and welcome to Sausage, How It's Made.
Sausage, how it's made. Sausage, how it's made.
Down, boy. I'm a film composer and songwriter, producer, and singer in the band Laszlo Bane.
I'm no Superman.
And I'm here to talk about how I wrote the opening cue to my latest film, which I recently scored, called Wildflower. Let's take a look. Did I just say my film? The director's film, Matt Smuckler, who happens to be my neighbor. In fact, this is how I got the job. One day I'm taking out my garbage, and my neighbor from across the street, Matt Smuckler, yells across, "Hey, did you work on Garden State?" And I said, "Yeah, about 20 years ago." And then he tells me about this film he's just finished shooting, his first feature. He's actually been a commercial director up until this point. And that he's been struggling with the music a little bit, and would I mind taking a look? And I said, sure.
True story.
So he sent me a link, and I watched it and was totally blown away. Really, really great film. So they sent me the opening sequence and asked me if I could take a crack at the 1-minute opener. And I said, sure. So this is what they sent me. So before we watch this scene, I'd actually like to talk about something called temp love.
Temp love, baby.
And that's when the director and the editor and the producers, they've rifled through a lot of different temp scores to land on the one that's really hitting the right tone, instrumentation, vibe for the film. And in this case, there was a little bit of temp love. And what I'd like to do is watch this just as I did the first time I saw the scene and really pay attention to what the temp is doing. So let's have a listen. All right, opening scene and a little piano melody. Sort of like the beginning of an idea of a melody at the beginning of our film. There's our main character, played by Karen Shipka. And she starts jogging and the tempo picks up. And the next cut, now she's really running much faster. Acoustic guitars, and we swell into the title card. And then we cut to our main character on a gurney in the hospital. So there's the temp. And wow, what a beautiful score that is. Often I will take my phone and Shazam the temp just to see where it came from. And lo and behold, this wonderful temp came from the movie Wonder, which happened to be scored by Marcelo Zarvos, our good friend. Who's that at the door?
Hey, what's going on here?
So after watching that temp, I had the director Matt over, and we had a discussion about the film. And what I like to get is a list of descriptive terms of how he would describe the main character, the overall story, the tone, and that can really be informative for a composer to figure out what instrumentation and melody, harmony, tone to come up with for the score. And And in this case, he gave me a few different ideas. Obviously, our main character is youthful, and she's a bit quirky, but she's also strong and smart and determined. And so all of those emotions really need to sort of be encapsulated in this opening theme, because we're establishing all that tone. And then also a little bit of mystery, because we don't know what's going to happen, obviously. And then when we see her in the hospital, something's happened. We're going to hopefully find out. And so all of that has to be wrapped up in this opening cue. And I love the way that temp did start with that little simple melody, and then it just grew and blossomed into the title card, and also gave us that sense of wonderment and what's to come. So let's have a listen to my first version and see how it goes. Just the beginning of that melody. Now we pick up the pace. Electric guitar, more strings, and really opening up right on the title card. Slow down and hitting that last cut with the little backwards piano. So they heard that and they really liked it. In fact, they loved it. They said, "You nailed it," which is what every composer wants to hear. And then they said, if you could just change the ending and don't have it slow down, keep the pace up and then extend it. So we want the music to reverb out and kind of drift off into reverb as we cut to the inside of the hospital and we see her on the gurney. So let's just check out the ending and see what I did for the V2. And in order to get this cue to be enveloped in reverb, I routed all the instruments through this plate reverb. So that all went great, and V2 passed, and I was able to start working on the rest of the film, incorporating that theme into different scenes, happy versions, sadder versions, and I got about 3/4 of the way through the film, and then I got the dreaded note of, hey, we're thinking that V2 of the opener, can you make it even cooler, a little hipper? A little more indie film cool, sprinkle some cool sauce on it. So I was like, sure. I kept the melody and I just added some cooler pads and some guitar effects, reversed guitar effects, and some bells and whistles, literally, and a little ukulele. So let's have a listen to the V3, the cooler, hipper version. The first thing I did was replace the standard sounding strings with these ethereal reversed guitar loops. And I've added a little warble to the piano and a little dulcimer on top of the melody. Now we've got ukuleles strumming along and some pizzicato strings plucking away. And some stomps and claps with a pulsating kick. And our crescendo with a reverbed out tambourine. So that goes well, and everyone really likes it, and I keep working on the film. And just as I'm finishing it up, one more note comes in on this opening cue. Do you think you can make it more memorable, something that we can hum to. And rather than freaking out, I decide, okay, how can we take that melody and make it more like a song, make it more repetitive? So let's listen to that last version, the melody. Da, 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 da. Okay, so rather than go into a B section when the pace starts to pick up and she starts to jog, what if I just kept it going, kept that melody repeating, but have it just every time it comes back, another instrument on top of it, and then we finally will explode into the bloom, into the title card, and we'll land on a sort of a root note. So I decided to pick up my old trusted 6-string ukulele, the Super Uke, and I just start strumming things. And I realized also, well, we've done 1 and 3, 4. This has been sort of a waltzy, dun 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 dun, dun 1 2 3 1 2 3. What if I straighten it out, make it 4 4, but still have a 3 on 4 feeling? So I'm thinking maybe 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. And I'll take the melody, which is da 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 da. Then land on the root for the big reveal of the title card. So that sounds like a song. That sounds a little, maybe it's got to be more memorable because I've drilled that melody into your head now by having it repeat over and over again. So let's have a listen to what I did. And I'll give you a little bit of breakdown on some of the instrumentation as well. So we'll start with one round of the melody on our warbly piano. It's nice when the notes hit the cuts too. And our 4/4 rhythm is now matching her jogging pace. Now let's kick it up another notch. And then we get ready to land on our root chord, which is a B flat major. So I'm going to solo the guitars and the ukuleles because while I was tracking this, I was still coming up with what the melody was going to be. And I was just whistling ideas. And I ended up keeping the guide track right here. So that stayed in the track just because I thought it sounded cool. So I'm going to solo all the strings. And this, by the way, is this great plugin called Cycles by Ash and Spencer. Just a cool ethereal sound. Okay, I'm going to mute that. Here's the mellotron. And then the rest of the strings are from Spitfire. This is the Abbey Road pizzicato strings, which sound beautiful. And yeah, we've got some other Sable pizzicatos. And this is Violin Textures by Emergence Audio, which sounds very realistic on those long notes. And now we've got more spiccato strings. And when you don't have a budget for a live orchestra, well, this sounds pretty good. Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I know these guys did. We'll see you next time on Sausage, How It's Made.
Sausage, how it's made.